Remy lived in two worlds. In the modern world, he was broke and struggling, but in a primitive world, he ruled his own kingdom. He had absolute power over life and death, countless wives and concubines, and a population that bowed before him. Every word he spoke became law, and with a wave of his hand, he could build an entire city. Not long ago, in a very ancient era, two tribes existed. One was the Satan tribe, ruled by a giant troll whose hobby was eating people. The other was the slave tribe, whose hobby was also eating people, but only as the ones being eaten. Their lives were miserable, and they began studying a prophecy tablet left by their ancestors. According to legend, the tablet could summon a savior who would help them finally enjoy the privilege of eating others. Remy was an artist who worked in a studio restoring famous paintings. His life was decent, until one day he forgot to turn off the faucet and flooded every painting in the building. Overnight, he went from broke to buried under massive debt. With nowhere else to go, Remy had no choice but to move back in with his parents. Feeling awkward at home, he hid in the kitchen to make coffee. But then his parents' cat jumped up and froze mid-air like a pouncing cougar. That was just the beginning of the strange events. Remy suddenly dropped into a primitive timeline, right inside Satan tribe territory. He couldn't understand their language, but based on their gestures, it was obvious they wanted to eat him. And since he was still holding his coffee pot, he realized you could bring gear with you through time. The only hiding place nearby was a ground burrow. He dove inside, only to discover it was the troll's home. The troll bit the back of his neck. Luckily, fate intervened, and Remy fell through the earth again, returning to his parents' home. To them, he had only disappeared for a moment, and no one believed a word of what he said. The next morning, creditors of all kinds came knocking. As he panicked, the ground opened again, and he was transported back to the primitive world. This time, there were two new clues. First, a slave tribe priest was performing rituals on the prophecy tablet, suggesting Remy could only cross into the world when someone activated it. Second, Remy crawled out from a side tower, which seemed to be his point of arrival in this world. Looking around, he realized he was on the slave tribe's sacred tree platform, surrounded by towering structures. Since they couldn't migrate, they had been building their homes upward for generations. Remy still couldn't understand their language, so the priest gave him a mysterious berry. It worked like Doraemon's translation jelly. Once he ate it, he could communicate smoothly. According to the prophecy, Remy was destined to destroy the Satan tribe and kill the troll leader. Remy didn't want to be enslaved, so they forced him to experience the punishments ordinary people endured, until he was willing to comply.